Hello, and welcome to Crispy Maps. Today I'm going to be starting a new series. I'm going to be looking at college towns. And if you really like this series, please stay engaged in the comment section below, give out a couple suggestions maybe, and maybe even subscribe. That would be very nice. But let's get started with the actual video at hand. Ann Arbor, Michigan is relatively well known for being home to the University of Michigan. Michigan is relatively well known for several reasons. Its kind of prestigious nature, its very competitive sports teams, and its extensive amount of research. As you can see as I'm zooming in here, Ann Arbor is kind of connected to Detroit through a little bit of an urban sprawl. This is because Ann Arbor is a part of Detroit's combined statistical area, or essentially a giant cluster of metro areas. But Ann Arbor is a part of its own metro area, having a metro population of approximately 367,000, which is quite the large number, if you ask me. Now, as I zoom in a little bit here, you can kind of see the Huron River cut through Ann Arbor. This river will eventually go out into Lake Erie, and it's quite prevalent throughout the entire city. Now, as I zoom in a little bit more, a couple of structures you can kind of start to make out. The first, down here, is Michigan Stadium, also known as the Big House. This is one of the largest stadiums in the entire world, having a capacity of 107,601 people. Well, this stadium has held a lot more people. Looking over to this area right here, you can kind of make out a giant cluster of buildings. This is the hospital of the University of Michigan. I would beg that this is one of the largest hospitals in the entire nation, hosting approximately 2.6 million visits a year. And this is a hospital, not an airport. So that's huge. Now you can see there's the University of Michigan Arboretum right here, which is basically just a park. And now as I zoom in a little bit more, you can start to make out some of the campus buildings, down here and up here in the North Campus. Michigan is one of the largest campuses in the United States when it comes to land area. I think it's around the top 20 or so. It has a total size of 3,070 acres, which doesn't seem that large when you start to think about it. But then, when you have to walk from one end to another, it's huge. Going down a little bit more, you kind of make out the little downtown area, as downtown in Ann Arbor is very well connected towards the actual campus. Now, if I went down to Street View on here, I won't, but you would begin to see that Ann Arbor is a very hilly city. Probably one of the most hilly cities in Michigan, and maybe even the Midwest. Now, if you're from a mountainous area, you're like, it's not that hilly. And you'd be right. But if you're from the Midwest, it is a very hilly city.
But before we can really start on all the unique parts of the city of Ann Arbor, we really have to go a little bit into the history, not too long. Oh yeah, by the way, notice the change of the microphone there? Yeah, that's just me being cheap. Okay, but back to the history though. Founded in 1824, and named after the combination of the wives' names of the two founders, which they both had a wife named Ann, and the trees that grew around the area, arbor trees, the town was called Ann Arbor. No way. Does not make sense at all. Within a decade of this town's founding, it became a site of one of the oldest universities in the country, at least in the Midwest. I mean, there's a lot of old universities in the East. I'm not sure if it's older than that, but it's one of the oldest universities in the Midwest. And ever since then, the university has grown and prospered, basically to the point it is today. And now, a quarter of Ann Arbor's downtown is owned by the university. Honestly, when it comes towards college towns, there's like the college part and then there's the town part. In Ann Arbor, they're basically one and the same. Like a good chunk of the downtown is actually a part of the actual campus. Just something to keep in mind. Ann Arbor is also known for having a lush urban forest and extensive park system, being noted as Tree City, USA. Just something to keep in mind there, I guess. Common attractions in the area is the cube, which is basically a giant cube just floating in this one part. and you have to spin it every single time you go by it. You got the stadium, which I've already talked about, the Burton Bell Tower. This tower is approximately 212 feet tall, and is pretty old, and honestly it looks really nice. Now, the best part about Ann Arbor, and the most mysterious, is the extensive tunnel system that lies beneath. There is an extensive system of steam tunnels going throughout the city. There's several rumored expeditions throughout pretty much the entire past century about these tunnels. And they're rumored to have booby traps and whatnot too, like from Indiana Jones. If you want to believe that, go on ahead. By the way, credits of the steam map right here goes to localwiki. Alright, I think that's going to be about it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe. Thank you, and stay crispy.